Good morning. Good morning, Facebook Live. Good morning. It's a wonderful morning. It's a little stormy outside, it's a little overcast, and they're telling certain parts of the area to be concerned about the weather and needing to maybe be concerned about, obviously, tornadoes. And so, therefore, to get into the inner, rooms of your house, such as a bathroom or something, and really take notice that we have to take care of ourselves. So if something happens and my electricity goes out, or all of a sudden I start looking like I'm tossing around up in here, I'm on my way to my inner room in my house. But I'm hoping that you're doing well this morning. It is, as I said, ugly outside, but I tried to put on a little color to let you know that I'm happy to be here. Thank you for coming in into this space that I'm in. I see my nieces there and Lavender and so many other people are on their way in to this space, and I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm doing something with my abilities, with my multiple intelligences. The fact that I was given some things that for a long time, many of us, like myself, didn't know what to do with what we were given. And so we stayed and we stayed and we stayed, and we never really made any kind of transitional, what I was taught, a transitional process for our next revolution, our next revealing, our next arrival at things that we not only can do, but we hone them and we do them well. So I'm so excited that you are here. And in fact, I'm going to give a shout out to my niece in New York, Rhonda. She has some strange little name online. Uh, I can't even say it. But anyway, I love her because she has her folks that she works with. They're interested in learning more about Are You Stuck? Because all of us are. So I'm going to ask you the question, are you stuck? Yes, you are. I am too. Quarantine right now, but eventually they're going to, allow us to come out and be more free about where we go and what we do. But guess what? We want to be a new us on the other side of this situation we're currently in. So I do say thank you. Thank you for stomping in, and thank you for, if you scrolled and you stayed, that's wonderful. And even if you just was viewing and you happen to see me and you stop for a second, I appreciate that. Because sometimes a second in time will give you knowledge for a long time. So maybe when you're scrolling by, you'll hear something that makes you want to come back for, a few more seconds tomorrow, and all that would certainly be wonderful. So we're going to talk about our whole process of don't look back. We don't want to look back. We don't want to not know what our lot is. And I was talking with a girlfriend, and she kind of cued me in. She said, "Lot, that's really good." And even though it was given to me just as words that were disjointed, but I woke up and I had this word. Once I put it in an acronym, I said, "Lot." I said, "Let me go to the Bible," and that's how it all began. So if you ever feel like you want to check on some stuff, go to the Bible and see what Lot was running away from. And sometimes that's what we're doing. We're running away from things. We're running away from things and not running in towards anything that really says that we're better off. Because sometimes where we were, we take with us. We just take it with us. We don't even worry about it. It's a part of us. It's a part of us. And so this morning, I really wanted to talk a little bit about this song I woke up with, and I'm a person. I absolutely love Frankie Beverly and Mays. And if you love Frankie Beverly and Mays, why don't you put it there in your little comment section and then hit share? So she talking about a little joy and pain this morning, because that's what this is all about. We, in our lives, we're going to have joy and we're going to have pain. And sometimes we don't know the difference because the joy will give us pain. Okay? It will give it to us. We're not even searching for it. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. I'm always looking for poems, and I'm like a little what I call myself a little poet myself. So I will write something. But I woke up with this morning and it said, "Look up Joy and Pain" by Frankie Beverly and Mays. So I don't own the words. I'm just letting you know that these are his words. It says, remember when you first found love and how it felt so good. And it says, and the kind you thought would last forevermore. So you thought it would. Suddenly. And sometimes things aren't so suddenly. They're coming up on us. We see signs and we pay no attention. But it says suddenly the things you see got you, it says got you so hurt, so bad. Okay, sometimes the things that we love, they hurt us worse than anything. It says, and how come the things that make us happy also make us sad? Well, it seems to me that joy, okay, and pain is like sunshine and rain. Let's say it again. Joy and pain is like sunshine and rain. I mean, can you imagine what he was thinking, what he was going through when he wrote that? In fact, a lot of the poems and the songs that are out, they're written out of someone's joy or someone's pain. And sometimes the best writers in the world are those who stand on what they are feeling, and that's the best writing. When you give your truth, guess what happens? Child folks, it's believable. It is believable. It's understandable because you're connecting with someone else who understands their joy and their pain. But sometimes, I'm just going to say it, sometimes we don't go down deep enough. So today, I got a little journey for you. I'm going to talk about, I've already talked about the veneer. Okay, I talked about the veneer. I talked about the bark on the side of the tree. All those things kind of contain what's inside. Today, I'm going to take it a little bit further. We're going to talk about the skin. The skin, the skin we're in. And sometimes we use that skin for our fault and not for our good all the time. Sometimes we just end up being in the skin and other people are controlling the skin. And we don't need that to happen. We're talking about how can I find a new way forward. And so this is it. And so it talks about the first layer of our skin is our epidermis. That's our outer layer. That's the outer layer of our skin. And sometimes, you can touch your skin and it's what? It's rough. Okay? Meaning that the skin has to be taken care of because it's going to take most of what it needs to weather all the time. Things that you're pulling on it, you're putting on it, the things that touch it, the wind, the sand, the dirt, everything, our clothing, everything. So how do we take care of our skin? How do we do it? You got to put some time in it. The second layer is the dermis. The dermis is the tough portion of the skin. That's where the hair and the follicles and everything, they're coming up out of that. Okay, so how is your skin doing when you go to the second layer? How layered up are we? Okay, how layered up are we? Do we have some areas that are bald because there's no more hair coming up out of it anymore? There's no more growth. Okay, there's no more growth. And yes, we are beings that every single day something is happening to us. From our head to our toes, something's going on. It's what we do with it. What are you doing with your skin? Okay? What are you doing for your skin? We got to go deeper. So we're going to go one more. Then we're going to talk about the hypodermis. Now, the hypodermis, that's the fatty part. We got a lot of fat up in here. Okay? We're covering up a lot of things. Okay? I want you to come out from underneath the hypodermis, the dermis, and the epidermis. Because the skin is holding in some of the things we need to get rid of. We need to trim the fat. How do we do that? We're going down to the basement again. We got to go down to our basement. We have to go back down those stairs. Remember I said yesterday we have to declutter. Get the stuff off the steps. Okay? So when you go back up the steps, the path is clear. We want a clear path, a clear way forward. An idea that we know where we're going, what we're going to do, how we're going to get there. We don't know. We don't know if we don't ever take the chance. So today I have some more questions. And I think the questions are pretty good. I think they're really good, if you ask me, only because I have to ask myself these questions. And a lot of times we're so busy living our life that we never ask ourselves. Stop long enough. This gives us great pause, this quarantine. The world has paused. We're paused. But guess what? Your mind still works. It still works. Your heart is still working. You're still living. Be grateful, be thankful. But how can you come out on the other side of quarantine, um, having a better life forward, having a what I say a wider vista, what I say some new things on your horizon? How can you do it? You can do it if you plan for it, but you have to plan for it. You can't make it. You can't make a decision about what you're gonna do, um, starting a business, ending a relationship, um, you know, forming forming some new alliance with the company, volunteering. All those things require you to make some decisions, but you also have to know who you're doing it for and why you're doing it. And if it's not for yourself and if it's just for somebody else, it's good to do things for somebody else, but what joy do you get out of it? Now, I got to be honest, I love doing a lot of things for a lot of people. I do. I do. And probably before quarantine, it was probably to a fault. Okay, that's my honesty. To a fault, where I did more things than, I'm not saying they weren't appreciated, but when sometimes you do more things for others, you do less for yourself because you're tired. You end up being depleted. You end up being, what I called kind of wrung out. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is go on the other side of, I'm going to do something for me today. I'm going to start today. If you haven't done anything yet with any of the other questions I get, these are good questions. These are my questions. Okay? So let's start out. Question number 1. Hope you have your pen, your paper, or a journal. I hope you have that too, and that you are journaling, because journaling ends up being poetry, which could end up being your book. All these things go forward. There's always, sometimes you may not know why you're doing something, but the outcome is already known. It's already known. That's destiny. That's your destiny. The people you meet, that's your destiny. The projects that you're involved in. Sometimes we play in the sandbox a long time before we get out and go and get on the swing. I say swing a little bit. Get on the swing and find out that you can go high if you want to. But you have to decide if that's what you want to do. If you're going to let other people just push you and all they do is just make sure that you're safe and they just give you a little swing, it's not enough. Pump yourself. I remember us doing that. We used to do it. We used to pump ourselves. And my mother, she'd be down on the ground. We were in Central Park in New York. She said, if you don't bring your... Okay, I told you she added language, okay? Wasn't necessarily my language, but I do know it. But she would say, get down from there. And I would, but she would get scared. So she would just, her heart was, she didn't want anything happening to her baby. Okay. But as children, we love the sensation of being high, being free. We lose it as we go forward. We don't want to go too high. We don't want to be too free. We want to be wound up, bound tight by something. A job, a man, a woman, something. And then all of a sudden, things change. We end up being maybe too old for that or too wise for that. We learn that we have to change things for ourselves. So here's today's questions. I was just hoping you were given your pen and paper and your journal so you can write today's questions down. First question number 1. What brings you joy? What brings you joy? What? Is that you have the ability to think and you can write something with that thinking? You're creative. You can actually paint, or you can do sculpturing. You can mold something, or you can, design a website, or do interior design of someone's home. What do you do? The other thing is, would that give you joy? Write down what gives you joy. Be honest. Now, here's the other one. Number 2. what brings you pain? Or what is, in fact, this is even better. Let's do a derivative of that. What has caused you pain? What? What? People, possessions, I don't know. People, possessions, position. I'm always telling my daughter that. There's people, there's possessions, and there's positions. You can't change any of them unless they're for you. If they're for you, that's good. If they're not, okay, they're not. What gives you pain? What causes you pain? What is your pain? Are you currently in pain now? Be honest to yourself. Remember, this doesn't come to me. This is a story for you. This is a story that you are giving yourself. A story. A story. Next one. Next question. Number 3. What do you cherish? What is it that you cherish? You know, is it the house, the car, the kids, some man, some woman, some job, you know? And my follow-up question, and it's actually a sub-question to that, what if they all went away? What if everything went away? One of these days, I am going to read you The Strength of a Woman, which is a poem that I did years ago. And it was after I saw my mother lose my dad and some of her children. And one line, it says that she will bury her children and many of the dreams she had for them. She didn't have them for herself. And as a lot of times as mothers, that's what we do. Our dream is in others. It's not in ourselves. And so how do we grow that thing so that we can also bring it back to ourselves? Once again, a lot of times our room is crowded. You know, our plate is full. So we never get back to us. It doesn't come back to us. We don't know how to do it. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to get it back to us. And so we cherish the things, a lot of times the things that we can't control. You know, you think you can control the house, but like what happened with this COVID-19. COVID-19 shut down a lot of people's ability to pay for their homes if they weren't already paid, paid for, if they weren't paid in full, as they say. But a lot of people are encountering that. And so I feel for them, you know, I understand it, you know, but that was something, sometimes we cherish things that if something catastrophic happens, what do we do with it? Where do we go? Okay. And the last thing, who do you cherish? Who is it? And the what and the who, sometimes, the reason I put them both there, sometimes they're so tied and wound together that you can't say that it's what or who, it's both. You cherish them. The what is why. Why do you cherish them? Why do we cherish a lot of things? You know, and once again, we go back to our clutter. Our clutter is everything that we've brought on to ourselves. Like a house that you stayed in 30 years. There's stuff there, okay? You know, I have a girlfriend that says she doesn't bring anything in unless she takes something out. So that's a good model to have. I have another friend who remembers growing up in chaos and a lot of things going on in her, you know, in her area to walk and move and eat and all those kinds of things. So when she got older, she made it her business that nothing could be out of place, to the point she said I was almost obsessed with it, you know. And sometimes we have to know that we can cherish things and they ruin us. They ruin us because we don't know how to just live, you know. And so we talk about when we cherish, we sometimes love too much, we devote too much, and we give of our life too much. So LDL, write that down. Love, devote, life. And sometimes when we're constantly doing things that really put us out on what I say, the Z street instead of the A street for ourselves, we end up never getting to anything that belongs to us. It belongs to somebody else. What they need. What time dinner going to be on the table. I know there's a lot of women that are married to men and they're old fashioned and they want dinner, even though both of them have jobs. Okay? Or you might be, when's that assignment need to be in? You got a suspense date. When do you get it done? That once again, that is something that you have to be concerned about. You know, so sometimes we don't love things, but we love what things give us. We love the result of what we love, which might be the love of job gives us the money that we get. The things we're devoted to, such as a house, means we do have a roof over our head. And I'm not saying that some of these devotions are not good, okay? I'm just saying if we love them more than we love ourselves, if they go away, how do we value ourselves? Is it all tied up in the house? Is it tied up in the car? Is it tied up in the man, the woman, the child? You know, because just as we're given things, things are also taken away. And so we have to know, what do we do with them? How do we make it work for us? You know, and so those are the key things I just wanted you to know today, is that we have to continue to declutter. We have to continue to go down to our basement and just to rename the decluttering and the varnish and the veneer. Now I'm also adding the skin that we're in. How do we get back down beneath the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis? How do we do it? How do we get down to the core of who we are? You know, our value is not just on the external of us. Our value to us should be the entire persons that we are. That's what it should be. It should be that we're on the other side of what I used to be after quarantine. And so I'm hoping that you would look at your joy and your pain. You will write it down. You will be honest. You'll be truthful with yourself. What has given you joy? What's given you pain? What do you cherish? And who do you cherish? Those are today's questions. I'm hoping that you're enjoying this time in my space, you know, this little bit of space I have. And I'm hoping that you will, you know, join all, I guess you say, get involved with all of the sessions that I have done on my YouTube channel, which is, I got some hearts. Thank you, whoever's doing those hearts right now. But anyway, my YouTube channel is under Sandra L. Winborn, PhD. And I think it's going to be a great channel, because every day I'm just being given so many things from the Lord, to just telling me that this is part of what I was called to do, is to, even though I tell everybody I don't have a large following or anything, but you know what? If you share it, maybe the following will increase, and more will hear my story, more will hear my love, more will hear my compassion, will hear that I am trusting you to do something for yourself based on the guidelines I'm giving you. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it, and I appreciate everyone that scrolled down and stopped long enough to hear a few words from Sandy. Have a great day, and remember, are you stuck? We're all stuck. Thank you. Bye-bye.